Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and let me start this video off by saying Activision is fumbling what little bag they have right now. Like, have you guys noticed there is literally nothing going on within the Call of Duty franchise or even the Call of Duty community? Like, I was just scrolling through my sub box, I'm like, there can't be nothing happening right now. No news, no updates, no anything, right? And I see some people posting videos, and it's actually really depressing because these are really good YouTube channels, and they're all getting like half the views or even less than that than they normally get because nobody's interested in COD right now. There's that CDL major or something like that happening this weekend, which some people like that if you're into competitive COD, but aside from that, there's just been nothing going on, and Verdansk is supposed to save the COD franchise. This next big update, Season 3, in just a couple of weeks, is supposed to be the thing that rights the ship for the COD franchise, at least according to Activision, and they're doing nothing to market it. Like, the other day, they put out this, it's like, hey, there's the Verdansk map. It's like, yeah, we know what it looks like. Like, can you give us a little bit more than that? It's actually just downright dreadful, and more people are actually leaving the franchise as a result of it. I know we go over Steam numbers here a lot on the channel, but just looking at it here, in December, we lost 43% of our players. In January, another 34%. In February, another 11%. And so far, over the course of the last 30 days, we've lost 17%, which means we're losing even more people here in March, and we haven't even peaked at 81,000 players. Like, 20% more of the player base has just dipped over the course of March, and people are just not interested in what's going on. It could be argued this is the most stagnant period in Call of Duty history, or at the very least, one of the most stagnant periods, which brings up the entire topic for this video today. The last time the COD franchise was down in the dumps, the way that it is so far with Black Ops 6, I would say would be during Infinite Warfare, right? We just finished up Advanced Warfare, then we had Black Ops 3, fans were over the jetpack era games, despite the fact that Black Ops 3 was actually pretty good. Regardless, fans wanted to go back to boots on the grounds and everything, and then when the leaks and the rumors all started happening about Infinite Warfare, fans started to rebel. When the trailer for the game came out, fans were pissed. I think it was actually the most disliked video in the history of YouTube, at least for a time period, but thankfully for Activision, they had an ace up their sleeve, and that ace was Modern Warfare Remastered. They knew going into Infinite Warfare that it was not going to sell well on its own merit, so they wanted to bundle it with the first and only remake in Call of Duty history, and I will say, this gameplay here is making me very nostalgic. Like, Modern Warfare Remastered was an incredibly fun year for me personally. I know a lot of you guys found my channel during that time period. Like, it was great. You know, I started off the series with COD 4, and I played that game so ridiculously much, and then 9 or 10 years later, all this knowledge I had for this, like, ancient game was suddenly relevant again. They recreated the game lovingly with all the bugs and quirks included. Of course, there were loot boxes and supply drops, and they did add game-changing weapons later on down the line, because that's what Activision does, but still, Modern Warfare Remastered was incredible. But what's weird is it's been over 8 years, almost 8.5 years, since the last remake here within the COD franchise. Why is that? They made such a horrible mistake by never remastering those games, because instead all they decided to do is pick at the corpses of those older games to try to bolster up their current ones, because there's no creativity left in this franchise, and they can't get by on new and original ideas anymore, so they keep having to lean back into the past, right? Which is what they're doing now with Verdansk. Over the course of the past couple of years, especially since Modern Warfare 2019, they basically just kept picking at the corpses of those older golden era COD titles, to the point where I don't even think fans would be excited if a remaster of those old games were to surface once again. I actually put a poll over on Twitter the other day, and I put simply, do you think they'll ever fully remaster another Call of Duty game? It's been over 8 years since the first and only remaster in the series, and overwhelmingly, almost 70% of you said that you don't think they're ever going to remaster a game, and a lot of you cited the fact that most of the things from those old games have already been remastered and copy and pasted in countless games over the course of the past couple of years. And I tend to agree, and if we really look at all the games that could potentially be remastered, I would say 1, maybe 2 would be good for a remaster, but the rest are just, they've been ruined systematically by Activision. Allow me to go over that. So, Call of Duty 4, we had Modern Warfare Remastered, that was incredible, but following that, World at War. I love this game. I thoroughly love Call of Duty World at War, and I'm sure so many of you do as well, but I think this might be a case where the memories that we have here should just be preserved, because a remaster might actually tarnish our memories of this game. Like, for starters, the MP40 jug. Can you imagine how many people would be using that in 2025? Like, you thought it was that bad back in 2008, 2009? Everybody and their mother would be abusing the MP40 jug. And talk about weapon variety in general. That game, while I love it, don't get me wrong, had 4 SMGs. total. There were 4 SMGs, only 1 full auto rifle, the STG, everything else was semi-automatic. You had the light machine guns like the Browning and the MG42. They were solidly okay, but like weapon variety was not amazing. Of course, a lot of the multiplayer maps were so large that they had tanks in them, so tank spam would return. And I feel like if a game only has 4 SMGs, only 2 shotguns and stuff like that, eventually they are going to add, like they did with Modern Warfare Remastered, new weapons into the fold. And if they do that, that may actually just tarnish the legacy and the feeling of Call of Duty World at War, while still having the same problems existing like Second Chance, Juggernaut MP40 and everything. Just, I love World at War, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it would be a good candidate for a remaster, because they would have to make it like a remastered plus where they add a whole bunch of weapons and nonsense to it, and at that point it wouldn't feel like World at War. I feel like for me personally, and I can't speak for all of you, but I feel like it's almost better to have those memories be preserved as compared to potentially tarnishing them with a full-on remaster. So I feel like that game's kind of out the window. The original Modern Warfare 2, I mean, everybody loved that game, especially if they were to implement Robert Bowling's Forgotten Patch. If you guys don't know, to quickly run over it, Robert Bowling was the former community manager at Infinity Ward, and he was pushing to fix one-man army noob tubes, scavenger noob tubes, and explosives. He was going to fix the misaligned red dot sights and the suppressors that didn't work. Like basically everything about the game that did not work or was not balanced whatsoever, Robert Bowling was trying to get that fixed. But Infinity Ward, being Infinity Ward, did not end up doing anything because they were having that mass exodus where half the studio left to form Respawn Entertainment and work on Titanfall, and then subsequently eventually Apex Legends. So if they were to remaster Modern Warfare 2 with that Forgotten Patch where one-man army tubes and stuff like that are all fixed, that would be incredible. But keep in mind, Modern Warfare 3 was last year, and in that game they remastered literally every OG Modern Warfare 2 map, and then a couple years before that they remastered the entire Modern Warfare 2 campaign. If they were to release a remaster of Modern Warfare 2, it wouldn't have that same feel, that same oomph, you know, that the original Modern Warfare Remastered had. Like, it would be cool, don't get me wrong, but we just spent an entire year playing on those OG maps, all remastered and everything. The campaign's already been remastered. Like, it'd be fun to have the original guns again. Just, I don't see it working out that well. I feel like they really missed an opportunity with that game, and I really just never see Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered ever happening here in this franchise. Moving on from there, we have the original Black Ops. I would say this is probably their best bet. I mean, the original Black Ops has a bunch of iconic maps, and a lot of them have never been remastered. It had a wide variety of guns. Like, I want to say there's like 10 or 12 different SMGs, like 10 or 12 different rifles. There's a wide range of weapons in that game. If they were to do maybe a couple of balance changes here and there, like a remaster of the original Black Ops could be good. Zombies is already fantastic. You can bring back wager matches and COD points. Like, that would be their best bet, I would say. But considering we just had Black Ops 6 and next year we're going to have like, what, Black Ops 7 or wherever the hell it's going to be, I feel like we are ages away from a possible remaster of Black Ops. So that's kind of out the window as well. The OG Modern Warfare 3, while it's a possibility, last year's game was literally called Modern Warfare 3, and I know a lot of people like this game, and I know a lot of people have nostalgia for it, but answer truthfully here, and I'm not trying to poke fun too much at the game or anything, but of all the old school golden era COD games, would Modern Warfare 3 be your number one choice to be remastered? I feel like for a lot of you, no. I feel like most of you would say Black Ops, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, probably a lot of you say World at War even. Like, Modern Warfare 3, it's fine, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's that game that's really going to hype people up all that much, and plus narratively, it's kind of weird. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense because they remastered the COD 4 campaign, and then they remastered the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, so a remaster of Modern Warfare 3 complete with campaign and multiplayer could potentially be good. Just, I don't really see it personally. And then Black Ops 2, we all know that COD 2025 reportedly is going to feature a remaster of every single Black Ops 2 multiplayer map, so they've already picked that entire carcass clean. Like, do you guys see what I'm getting at here? Activision has systematically ruined and picked clean all the old school golden era Call of Duty titles, and if we go past the golden era, I don't see them doing much with that either. I mean, after Black Ops 2, Call of Duty entered a bit of a downtrend, or at the very least a bit of a change in narrative and direction. I mean, we had Call of Duty Ghost, followed by Advanced Warfare, and then the other Advanced Movement games, and this would end up lasting for like 4 years, and I definitely don't see any of those games ever being remastered. And then after that, we have what I'd call the resurgence period for the COD franchise. Like, for me personally, it was such a really cool time. We had Modern Warfare Remastered, we had World War II, and we had Black Ops 4. Like, I loved those 3 years. It was so ridiculously fun, and it was also right before the franchise went to shit and became all about Warzone and skill-based matchmaking and all that nonsense. Like, it was a really fun time period, but honestly, as much as I love those games like World War II or Black Ops 4, I don't see them ever being remastered because they just don't seem like the kind of game that would like really hype up the community. Like, imagine if they announced World War II remastered. Like, I don't see people actually caring all that much. So if they were to remaster a game, it would have to be one of the golden era titles, but that's nearly impossible because once again, Activision have picked those corpses clean over the course of the past couple of years. They missed an insane opportunity here. Like, a random side studio could have remastered any of those games back in the day. It's so simple. It's just a graphical upgrade. You put on the new engine. Therefore, you know, games like World at War or Black Ops 1, which were kind of known for having pretty shitty hit detection, suddenly they would have good hit detection. And there were also so many points in COD's history where a remaster bundled with the new game would have done ridiculously well. Like, think back to the jetpack era, which alienated a bunch of old school Call of Duty fans. Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3, like, why not bundle a remaster of the original Black Ops back in the day? The problem now is Activision is so invested in their new game bringing in all their money. Everything is about microtransactions and battle passes and shop bundles, and with Call of Duty already losing players, I don't see them ever remastering another game because they don't want to split the player base up more than they have to. What they did with Infinite Warfare was take a risk in order for them to save face. Like, nobody wanted Infinite Warfare at the time. Like I said, like, the trailer, I'm pretty sure, was the most disliked video in the history of YouTube. I think that record may have been broken since then, but at the time, it was the most disliked video in the history of YouTube. Talk about some incredible marketing for the game. But I understand where the COD community was coming from because I was right there with them. We just had to deal with Call of Duty Ghost followed by 2 straight years of advanced movement games. Like, fans were just sick of it. Fans wanted to go to old school Call of Duty and for the game to feel like it used to. That's really all it came down to, and that's why they remastered Call of Duty 4, and then the year after that they came out with World War II because what's more boots on the ground than opening up supply drops on the beaches of Normandy? I know that some people don't even like the idea of remastering games, kind of just leave the past in the past and move forward, you know, and I get that, but remastering a game is a way to bring new life to something that people already love. Like, there was no reason why we couldn't just go back and play Call of Duty 4 back in the day. In fact, I know I did plenty, and I'm sure plenty of you did as well, but I suppose the thing that held us back was we had to play on outdated console, and people always want to play something new, right? And given that these two were essentially the same game, Modern Warfare Remastered proved that the Call of Duty 4 formula was a winning one. Bring it back, make it look pretty, and fans are happy. There's something special about the launch of a game and everyone being hyped for one thing, and then bringing back Call of Duty 4 to newer audiences was one of my favorite times to be a COD fan. Like, newer fans got to experience the good and the bad of old school Call of Duty, while seasoned vets like us were able to take a victory lap around memory lane. It was so much fun. It was truly a special time, and of course, Activision did monetize the hell out of it with supply drops and making people pay for a remastered map pack, and then the game-changing weapons had to eventually come down the pipeline, but still, it was an amazing point in Call of Duty's history, although Activision, like so many other times, have squandered that amazing opportunity. They could have went on and started to remaster more and more games over the course of the past 8 years, but they decided not to. They said they would rather just pick all the guns from the old games and all the maps from the old games and even like the zombies maps from the old games and throw them into the newer ones, which essentially just ruins the idea of any of those games ever being remastered, which is why I truly don't see them ever fully remastering another Call of Duty title. And just to end this video off with a bit of existential dread for you guys, it's been almost 8.5 years since Modern Warfare Remastered came out. We're almost at the point where more time has passed since the launch of Modern Warfare Remastered and now compared to the time it took between the original COD 4 and its eventual remaster. That is how fast time is moving right now, ladies and gentlemen. But going back full circle here, Activision are absolutely fumbling the bag right now. I mean, they fumbled on remasters for sure, which I want to talk about here today, but the fact that Verdansk is supposed to come and save the COD franchise. Season 3 is supposed to be like the biggest update ever, and it's gonna be amazing, and rainbows and sunshine and happiness, and they're not even marketing it. Like, there's no news. Views across the board are down. Social media, nobody gives a shit about what's happening with COD. Like, it's actually depressing to be a COD fan and a COD content creator right now because there's nothing happening. Like, interest in the series is at an all-time low. And Activision, please get your shit together. Don't let this franchise die. But like I say, it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens when Season 3 comes out and when Verdansk comes out and all that. And of course, as always, I'll be here with you guys every step of the way as more information comes out, as new stories become available. We are going to watch the continued train wreck of the COD franchise together, so be sure to sub if you guys are new around here. Leave your thoughts and feedback on the possibility of a COD remaster down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.